Today we're going to be learning how to make hamburger sliders. They're so cute. So we're going to first take our bottom/top of bottom bun and lay that onto our brown felt. Go in with your disappearing ink pen. You're going to make outline 2 of these circles, and then you're going to outline the side of the bun as well. And then once you have those outlined, we're going to go ahead and cut those out. And then we're going to add some cardstock before we start to stitch it all together. Now that you have those cut out, that's what it looks like. Go ahead and grab your cardstock bottom/top of bun, and you're going to outline that onto a piece of cardstock. I show it later in the video, but you might as well just outline 2 circles because you're going to be putting it on the top and the bottom of the bottom bun, just so that it holds shape. So once you have that cut out, go ahead and glue both of those cardstock pieces onto your felt circles. I'm only showing one right here because later I decided that the other one needed cardstock as well. But anyway, so you're gonna do 2 cardstocks on both of those felt circles. From there, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our stitching. So we're going to take our needle and thread, and we're going to start to stitch the side of our hamburger. So you're going to push it towards the back side of the bun. You're going to come up and over the edge, hide your knot in between the 2 pieces. Push your needle through the side of the bun, come up between the 2 pieces, and then pull tight. This will be the start of your blanket stitch. From there, you're going to move over just a little bit. Now push your needle through both pieces of felt. Then you're going to run your needle through your hoop and then pull tight. You will continue to do this stitch along the edge of the bun, just connecting the side to the bottom. Just make sure as you're going that you are matching up your edges, that they are matched up. And then once we get back or closer to our first initial stitch, we'll have some extra that we'll need to cut off before continuing. So from here, we're going to cut off the extra so that the edges line up together like that. And then you're going to continue your stitch to go past that gap. Once you're past the gap, we're going to shift our stitch so that we can stitch the side together. But you're going to go past the gap, and then from there, you're going to push your needle into the bun. And then you're going to jump the gap, push it towards to the outside of the bun. Then you're going to jump the gap again, push your needle through the side and come up between the 2 pieces and then pull tight. This will shift your stitch so that we can continue to do our blanket stitch along the side of the bun. And then from here, I'm going to connect those sides together. It's a little awkward, but you're going to fold it a little bit. And then you're going to move over a little bit, run your needle through both pieces of felt, run your needle through the hoop, and then pull tight. Do the same thing all the way up until you get to that top corner. And then from there, we're going to want to secure everything that we just did. So when you get to the top corner, you're going to run your needle through both pieces of felt. And then from there, you're going to run your needle through your hoop, not once, but twice. Pull tight, which will create a knot in your thread and secure all the stitches that you just did. And then from there, don't cut off that thread because we're going to continue to do the top of the bottom bun. So this is when I decide that I'm going to add the second cardstock. So if you've already done this step, just skip it. I'm just outlining my second cardstock to go on to the top of the bottom bun. So once I have that cut out, I go ahead and glue it down, and now I'm going to go ahead and stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to line up your edges, and then you're going to take your needle and thread, come up and over the edge, push your needle through the top of the bun, come up between the 2 pieces, pull tight. And then from there, you're going to move over just a little bit, push your needle through both pieces of felt, run your needle through your hoop, and then pull tight. Again, this is the start of your blanket stitch, and you will continue to do this along the whole edge of your bun, connecting it all together. Once you get about halfway close, let's go ahead and stop our stitching because we're going to go back in and add our polyfill. So here I'm going to stop and I'm going to just add the polyfill. My main goal is to fill it out, make it nice and firm. Make sure that you put a lot of polyfill along your edges so that it pops them out so that they don't have like a sunken in look. But once you get it nice and stuffed, you're going to continue to do your blanket stitch, closing up that hole. I usually do, once you get back to your first initial stitch, I usually go 2 to 3 stitches past. This just secures all those first initial stitches that you started with. And then once you get past like 2 to 3 stitches past, I am going to secure everything that I just did. So again, you're going to run your needle through both pieces of felt, run your needle through your hoop, not once but twice, which creates a knot in your thread, pull tight, and then run your needle through the bun and cut off the extra. And then there you go. You have the bottom of your slider. And now we are going to start with the top of our bun. So for the top of the bun, you're going to grab the top of the bun template and you're going to outline this onto your brown felt. Make sure to do those little triangle cutouts as well. Now, when you go to cut it out of the felt, don't cut those triangles. Just cut the circle because those triangles are just going to give you an idea of where to stitch. And I'll show that in a little bit. Once you have that outlined, you're going to also outline the bottom of the top bun onto your brown felt. And then once you have those outlined, just move forward with cutting both of those out. Once you have them cut out, this is what it will look like. Now, these little triangles, this is what we're going to use for stitches. So you're going to take your needle and push it through both pieces of felt. Then you're going to come up and over the hump or bump, push it through both pieces of felt again, pull tight. And then from there, you're going to move over just a little bit, push your needle again through both pieces of felt, and then run your needle through your hoop and then pull tight. You're going to do teeny tiny baby blanket stitches along that drawn on triangle. And then once you get to the top corner of the felt circle, you're going to want to secure everything you did. So you're going to run your needle through your hoop, not once but twice, pull tight to create a knot in your thread, and then cut off the extra. And then this is what it will look like when you're done. And then from there, you're going to do the same exact thing for the 4 remaining triangles on the back. And then when you're done, this is what it will look like. And then this is what the top of the bun will look like. So those stitches just gave the top of the bun more of a rounded look. And then now we're going to move on to making our seeds. So we're going to go in with our needle and come up from the back side of the bun. And then we're going to drop our needle back down where we just came up from. And then before pulling completely tight, we're going to come back up like an inch away from those stitches like that. We're going to hook our loop around our needle and then we will pull tight. And then from there, we will then dip our needle back into the felt along the top of that seed, I guess. I don't know what these are called. I think they're like called chain stitches, or I'm just going to call them seed stitches because literally it's the only time I use them is when I'm doing like seeds. So again, come up from the back, drop your needle back down where you just came up from, push your needle back to the top of the bun, an inch away from that stitch that you just did. Hook your hoop around the needle, pull tight, and then you're going to push your needle to the inside of the bun or the back of the bun at the top of that stitch. So it looks like that. And then you're just going to continue to add seeds along the top of the bun, as many as you want. And then from there, we're going to attach the bottom of the bun to the top. So when you're done with your seeds, this is what it will look like. And that's what it looks like underneath. And then we are going to pull out our cardstock again. And we're just going to cut another circle for the top bun this time. So you're going to outline that and then cut it out. And then once you have it cut out, just go ahead and glue that down to that felt circle. And then from here, we're going to attach the two pieces together. So we're going to go and line up the edges. And then from here, we're going to take our needle and we're going to go between the two pieces of felt through the top piece of the bun. Go hide your knot at the end of your thread, come up and over the edge, push your needle through the bottom of the bun, come up between the two pieces, and then pull tight. You'll move over just a little bit, push your needle through both pieces of felt, run your needle through that hoop, and then pull tight. And you'll continue to do your blanket stitch along the whole edge of the top bun, just like you did with the bottom bun. And then once you get about halfway closed, we're gonna stop what we're doing and fill it with polyfill. Now that we're about halfway closed, go ahead and stuff the top bun with polyfill so that it's nice and firm. You don't want to stuff it too much where it then pops out your cardstock and makes it all bumpy looking, but you definitely want to make it look more rounded at the top. So once you have it nice and stuffed, we're going to continue our blanket stitch to close up that hole. And then of course, once you get back to your first initial stitch, I usually go 2 to 3 stitches past to just make sure that everything is secure. So you're going to push your needle through the felt and then push your needle through your hoop, not once but twice, which will create a knot in your thread. And then from there, you're going to run your needle back through the top of the bun and cut off the extra. And there you go. You have the top of your hamburger. And now we're going to move on to making the cheese. So for the cheese, we're just using this square template on a yellow felt. We're going to outline 2 squares. Once you have those outlined, go ahead and cut them out. And then from there, I'm going to lay them on top of one another, and then I'll go in and add hot glue. This just keeps the squares lined up and in place as I am stitching. Try not to get glue along the edges of the square because then it's going to be hard to get your needle through it. But once you have that glued, we're going to go ahead and start to stitch. So you're going to take your needle and thread, go between the 2 pieces of felt towards the back of the cheese, hide your knot at the end of your thread. You're going to go up and over the edge, push your needle through the front side of the cheese, come up between the 2 pieces and pull tight. This is the beginning of your blanket stitch, and we will continue to do this blanket stitch along the whole edge. You're going to move over a little bit, push your needle through both pieces of felt this time, run your needle through your hoop, and then pull tight. And again, just continue to do this along the whole edge, connecting the 2 pieces together. When you're done, this is what it should look like. I forgot to record securing my stitches, so just make sure that you're securing your stitches when you get back to your first initial stitch. Now for the meat, we're going to go back and use the bottom/top of the bottom bun in our side template to make the patty for our hamburger. So we're going in with our chalk marker and we're going to outline 2 circles and then 1 side piece to our dark brown felt. Once you have those outlined, go ahead and cut them out and then we'll start to put them together. From here, we're going to do the same exact thing that we did to make the bottom bun of our hamburger. We're connecting the sides together with a blanket stitch. So once you have the side connected to the bottom of the patty, I actually forgot to add in my cardstock before I started stitching. It's definitely easier to do before you start, so I would recommend that. But if you forget, it's fine. Just cut your cardstock and then add it to the bottom of the patty and then to the top of the patty. But then once you have that glued in, you will then go ahead and connect the top of your patty to the rest of it. And then from here, this is what it will look like. Now, if you're not a huge fan of what the cardstock feels like, you can always do foam. It will give you a little bit of a squishier feel. So kind of keep that in mind. You would just glue it to the top and the bottom like that and replace the cardstock. But from here, I'm going to go in with, add some grill marks to my hamburger. So I'm going in with my Master Touch marker. This is 98 chestnut brown. I do have a black somewhere, but I can't find it. But I'm just going in and drawing on horizontal and vertical lines on top of my patty, just to give it that nice grilled look. But yeah, there you go. Now you have a little hamburger slider to add to your play kitchen. You can find this template, of course, in my Etsy shop, which is linked in my bio. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Once you're done, it will look something like this, and then it's time to put our burger all together.